frontier is a staple of American exceptionalism. In this country, we allow exploration of our land. We've expanded from our 13 original colonies to become the largest global economy. All this is due to taking advantage of our resources. We've explored oil and Texas in the Midwest. We've mined for gold in California. We have great agricultural opportunity all across this country. We've built up cities like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. All these are in different parts of the country. They're all unique, and they're all a result of the exploration of the frontier. In a figurative sense, the frontier represents America's drive to the occasion, and the allowed of the social mobility. Americans have expanded the frontier of our freedom. Our freedom of speech, religion, and press serve as a model for the rest of the world. In our exploration of the figurative frontier, Americans were able to mass-produce motor vehicles before any other country. We even put a man on the moon. In our exploration of the frontier, Americans have become self-reliant. We can build ourselves up and live in a nice house, a pool in a yard. This idea of expanding the frontier is central to who we are as Americans. The question is, does the frontier belong to all of us collectively, or does no one have any claim to the frontier? We must ponder the sense of society versus individuality to realize who we are as Americans and what we've allowed ourselves to become.
We have this idea of the frontier. We need to find two very different ways of interpreting it.
It is evident from To a Waterfowl that William Cullen Bryant believes the frontier must be explored. It belongs to us all. Let's look at lines 9 through 12 for a second. Seek'st thou thy plasty brink of weedy lake, or marge of river wide, or when the rocking billows rise and sink on the chafed ocean side? It becomes obvious to the readers that the author is trying to explain that the mockingbird needs somewhere to go. Will he choose the marsh or the shore of the ocean tomorrow? Who knows? That's not important, but the bird is just standing idly by. He's taking risks and exploring these new areas.
That's kind of like the poem on the Statue of Liberty. The plaque on the statue reads, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest toast to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." America was always open to immigrants. We were always looking to bring in new cultures and new ideas. It diversified this country. When we put this poem on the Statue of Liberty, we made it clear that these United States belong to everyone. That's what makes America great. This budding nation allowed anyone and everyone to explore it and to expand it.
So even though this poem and the Statue of Liberty were created nearly a century apart, they still represent each other. The waterfowl and these newly arrived immigrants are one and the same. The waterfowl has just escaped the hunter and is taking great risk to fly and move on. These immigrants are leaving the political unrest in their countries and take on a considerable amount of risk by leaving behind everything to come to America. You know what they say, you gotta spend money to make money. But that's what exploring the frontier is all about. The frontier is a place where anyone can take risk and move to expand this country, to move on to bigger and better things. This country is the best one in the world because we've worked hard, expanded our territory, and saw the frontier as a place of great opportunity. America's wide open place. With a lot of hard work and a little bit of luck, we were able to take on the frontier.
Bryant used personification to describe the waterfowl as a human. By giving human attributes, he is comparing the waterfowl to an explorer, sort of like Hawkeye from Last of the Mohicans. Obviously, waterfowls aren't conscious beings, but Bryant calls them fellows and talks to the waterfowl as if he is teaching him some sort of lesson.
Speaking of Last of the Mohicans, James Cooper also has something to say about the frontier.
What do you mean?
Let's just read a quick excerpt first to get the message. "So all of my family departed, each in his turn, to the land of spirits. I am on the hilltop and must go down into the valley. And when the Uncas follow in my footsteps, there will no longer be any of the blood of the Sagamores, for my boy is the last of the Mohicans." Let's just first clarify this picture Chingachgook paints for us. The hill he speaks of is a symbol for the course of one's life. One makes his way to the hilltop, the pinnacle, middle age. He slowly descends, or deteriorates, until he reaches the land of the spirits. Now, for context, Chingachgook and his son are the last full-blooded Sagamore chiefs of the Mohicans. The Mohicans are the ancestors of many of the other Indian tribes, and they have to interact with these Iroquois. That means Chingachgook and the Uncas are the last Mohicans alive. This is the result of the Mohicans going into the wilderness. They were the original frontiersmen, but due to their exploration of the frontier, they've tainted their blood and doomed their tribe.
They were also screwed when the white men came. The Dutch corrupted their land, gave them alcohol, and went packing. The English also caused them harm. Now they are at war with the French. The Mohicans cannot win in the vast wilderness, or so it appears. That's the way it's supposed to be. Winning the frontier is a challenge. It's hard, but sometimes who succeeds in taking advantage of the frontier holds all the power and ultimately has the upper hand. That's the end game.
This is exactly what Washington Irving gets out in Rip Van Winkle. Rip is too afraid to go out into the wilderness, but he's a jackass. We are supposed to look at Rip and be inspired to do exactly the opposite of what he does. By failing to explore the frontier, Rip becomes apathetic. He fails to see any real changes from the revolution. Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. While Irving agrees that on the outside there aren't a whole lot of changes between British-controlled colonies and these new United States, the real difference is opportunity. America is now a free place, and we can go out into the wilderness. We can take advantage of our resources. We can explore the frontier and make it ours.
America is now in this unique opportunity where it can become a beacon of light for the rest of the world. If we take a look at Cooper's story, it's going to be a challenge. Americans will face adversity, but it will be worth it. If we truly understand Bryant's poem, God has guided us to America to explore the frontier and take advantage of opportunities that we have. This all relates to manifest destiny. We have to take an in-depth look at what Washington Irving is telling us. It is absolutely imperative that we explore the frontier. Despite all of the risks involved and challenges ahead, Americans must lead this charge. Only then can we become the city upon a hill. How do we define the frontier, and what do we do from there? Our forefathers have explored the frontier plenty, but it's up to our generation to go into the wilderness.